from September. Rich Lesser is global CEO at Boston Consulting Group. You know, I love consultants, Rich. I always tell you that it's the guy who comes in, the guy from out of town that doesn't have a job that comes in and tells you how to do everything. But you actually that's not fair because consultants do a lot. Yesterday we had a Harvard professor on that gave us some great ideas and thoughts that I hadn't had about returning to work. 5 things to worry about. Like you don't push too hard, and when you do come back, there will be remnants of the pandemic period in terms of Zoom and all these other things, but don't press too hard to keep doing some of those because you got Zoom fatigue already. I mean, in addition to just figuring out COVID mandates for the vaccine, what else are you thinking about? What are you telling people?
So I'm really glad you raised that, and it's good to see you, Joe. The big issue right now that companies are wrestling with is whether and how and when to bring people back and what to say about mandates, about test or vaccinate, the various different programs that we've seen announced. But you're right, there's a longer term question as we bring people back. People are tired, people are emotionally stressed, we see more mental health challenges, but they also miss being with their colleagues. And the sense of community that you lose when you're only working remotely is enormous. So we do need to get people back together. We do need to find a way to reconnect. And we also need to recognize that employees are coming back with different expectations, more belief that they can have flexibility in how they work, more desires for companies to recognize their individual needs, and companies that think that there'll be a one-size-fits-all solution, and we either stay at 2020 or we go back to 2019, I think we're going to find it's harder to retain top talent and create the kind of positive environments that they're looking for.
I guess we're all envisioning some type of hybrid model, Rich. There's 2 sides of the spectrum. And we talked about this as well with the Harvard Business School professor yesterday. There's a whole contingent of corporate managers that measure how they're doing by how many butts are in the seats. She actually called it that at like 7 p.m. at night. The go-getters. Jeffrey Katzenberg said if you complain about coming in on Saturday, then don't even bother showing up on Sunday. So you got these go-getters on one hand, and then you got people on the other hand that say, look, there's been no lessening of productivity with at-home work. So is there a kinder, gentler way to view it? Can you get just as much effectiveness by cutting employees some slack if they don't want to come back, Rich?
I believe that you can. I believe that there'll be ways to generate very high productivity workforces without returning to the models that we operated before. And the definition of if you're not in the office, you're not working already was gone before the pandemic. So many people are doing their work at home or working on the road or in other ways. We just didn't acknowledge it in the way we built our models. And the pandemic forced us to change. None of us would have taken a chance to do what we were forced to do in 2020 and the first part of 21. And the truth is, you look at the data, you look at the economic output, you look at the profitability reports. I mean, productivity has stayed high. We've seen we can work in different models. We've seen we can offer different and better employee value propositions. I'm not at all arguing to stay with what we had, last year, the beginning of this year. We need to get people reconnected back together, strengthen apprenticeship, create forums for brainstorming and creativity that are sometimes hard to do online. But we can operate in different and more positively impactful models for employees and still retain high productivity for our workforce, for our organizations.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.